What is up, guys? It's your boy Jay,
Chantel.
and we're the Movie Minute. We are getting into reviewing Daredevil Born Again, part one of two of what should have been an 18-episode series, and it has been split up. So now we have to wait until March of next year to watch the rest of how this unfolds. What are your thoughts? First off.
At first, I thought they were trying too hard. Okay, it's Disney Plus now. We kept the series, but we want to make it edgy. And we talked about it a little bit about the F bombs, and I was like, bro, are they just dropping F bombs to be dropping F bombs because they want to be edgy? But that was one of my pet peeves. But secondly, of course, I would assume that this is going to be spoiler, right?
It depends on how long we want to make this video.
All right, so without spoiling it a little bit, I always talk to little bro about Kingpin, legit being Kingpin, and really having that power and really showing that I'm a formidable villain. And to me, the Netflix series and the Disney Plus series, until this last episode, made me feel like this is just a regular guy that is throwing his weight around and making power moves. But that scene in the last episode when I was like, okay, now that's Kingpin, bro. That's Kingpin. Right now, that's Kingpin. So if this is the direction that they're going in, even in the Echo series, even when she shot him and he got shot with the arrows and he took him out and he was like, I'm really Kingpin. I was like, yes, this is the direction they need to go with Kingpin. And from what it looks like, that's the direction that they're going. So that last episode was okay. So I'll say this: out of the 9 episodes that we watched, this 9th episode is keeping me hooked in. If this episode would have been different, I would have been like, I really don't know. But this episode did it for me.
I loved episodes 1, 7, or 1, 8, and 9. Those episodes are the episodes that they made, they retooled. Okay, so when this series first got started filming, there was a whole point where they filmed a bunch of episodes, and then when they realized it wasn't working, they retooled everything to make it more along the Netflix side of it. So episodes 1, 8, and 9 were all made after that retooling, whereas 2 through 7 were parts, a lot of it was still original stories or episodes. There were parts of each episode that was tweaked to kind of work in tandem with the rest of the show, but a lot of the stuff that they had, that was all from the first iteration. So right. I was really excited when I found out. I enjoyed the whole season as a whole, but I did feel like those episodes weren't nearly as good as the first and the last 2.
Right now.
What I love about this show is that we get to see Charlie Cox. It's at its best when it has Charlie Cox going up against, Kingpin, those conversations. It feels really Netflix-y. The language, the amount of times I use the F word in this series, it bothers me a little bit. Not because I don't like the use of the F word, because I don't care if they use language in the movie. I really don't.
Right.
It's language, right? But it feels like with this show, considering how dark the Netflix series was, and they never used the word, that it felt like they were just trying to make it push, they were pushing it, trying to be yeah, we're this edgy, we're R-rated again, blah, blah, blah. And it's you didn't need it with the Netflix, you don't need it here, Now, there are a couple instances where they say the F word in this, and I'm yeah. Kind of like Deadpool has its moments where it feels like they use it. But, yeah, the last 2 episodes were fantastic. Do I love the fact that it ends on such a cliffhanger? There's a part of me that goes, I know we'll get it in another year, but I've just been left a little bit too underwhelmed with the amount of things that have come out over the last couple of years where they split up into 2 parts. And they leave with such a cliffhanger that it feels like half of a story and not the whole thing. But I do feel like there's enough of a story completion in this because we see Daredevil and Kingpin fully born again for this at the end of the season.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see who they bring in for the next season. I swear they better bring in defenders. I know they say they need an army, but a bunch of cops or a few cops and retired people, they're not going to stop Kingpin and his goons, his Punisher squad.
Right.
Punisher's definitely coming back for a round 2.
Of course. of course. But yeah,
Did you see the post-credit
at
scene?
first, yeah, I did.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That'll lead very well into the special presentation they have coming out next year with John Bernthal, because they're doing a Punisher.
With him breaking.
Probably it'll probably be an hour of him breaking out and murking a bunch of people.
Right, him and the Swordsman, because the Swordsman is in there too. They're both
Well,
down there together.
Here's my question. I understand Frank does at some point try to do some good. Is he going to break everybody out of there, or is he just going to go on a murderous rampage?
Even if he doesn't break anybody out there, I mean, like the Swordsman is still like a vigilante, so he's gonna like probably break out as well. Now, if him and the Punisher get into a conflict together, who knows? But they're both down there together, though.
Wouldn't it be interesting? And I feel like I got to theorize this. Obviously, we're not getting Spider-Man, as stupid as it is. He's a New York-based vigilante. Sony needs to stop getting their stick shoved up their ass and let us use him. Or they need to at least mention something about this, in Brand New Day, because it's, who knows if this takes place right at the same time as Brand New Day or not.
Right.
Or, and I thought about this last night as I was going to bed. I'm like, when does Thunderbolts take place, and how does that affect it? Because I'm pretty sure that third entire act is in New York City.
But the thing is to me is, and my bad, I'm looking something up right quick, kind of go into this. But to me, old buddy Ryan from Screen Crush, bro, he made a good point. Is in Daredevil, they keep showing like the skyline, but there's no Avengers Tower. There's no whatever they want to call the tower that's supposed to be there. If this is on Disney Plus and it's supposed to be canon to the MCU at this point, in that skyline, they need to put that building in there. So maybe that's the reason why Spider-Man isn't in it, or whatever the case may be. But I'm kind of thinking, because Disney, they do look at things. Like, they look at all our reviews, they look at all this other stuff. So they really need to do something to where they put this building into this particular area, because what I don't understand is, how did Daredevil, as God, I just had a brain fart, Matt Murdock, if he was in Spider-Man, but this is again on Disney Plus, so it's still in the same universe, why isn't the tower there? How is he with Spider-Man? They're in the same city.
To be fair, the tower is no longer Avengers Tower. It is Valentina's tower. It could just look like a normal building.
But it's still there, though. Like, did she take everything down that made it not look like the building that it is? Like, even as a small little Easter egg for everybody that's watching Daredevil, because we're happy that Daredevil is back. Even as a small little Easter egg, that building should have been thrown in there from the very first time that they showed the skyline.
I mean, that could be more of a just they didn't think to put it in type of thing versus it not being canon. Because, I mean, they literally had Miss Marvel's dad in an episode.
But still, that's not a little small mishap. It's still the canon, and that building should have been there. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I feel like it would have brought us in even more if that building was there.
I mean, let's also be fair. They made nods and comments in the original series that Avengers happened in universe there.
Right.
And there was no tower there either. Now, granted, I don't think there was any rights issues, because while Netflix had it, they still kind of tied it in a little bit. So therefore, they should have done it there too, but they didn't. So it's like, for me, it's a small thing. And also, Spider-Man does exist in there because they made a comment to him. Kingpin said something about a wall climbing guy in a bug suit.
Right.
Now, granted, maybe Peter just doesn't want any of that smoke. Just saying. Also, New York's very big.
But what smoke is it, though? Again, to me, Kingpin hasn't really posed a threat to me. So, like, he's really to me, he's not really like a big threat, bro. Like, and I was also going to touch bases on, with it being like the season 2. Like, I'm low key tired of seeing the back and forth. It's like they're siblings at this point. Daredevil and Kingpin, Matt Murdock. Like when are we gonna get to where we need to get to? They brought in Bullseye, but I think they nerfed him so much. He's done some cool little shots and killed a fly with a paper clip, but I feel like they nerfed Bullseye. They haven't really brought in his real accurate like comic book costume. They put a little blue around him. Like, all right, is Bullseye, but I feel like they nerfed him. I feel like the whole meds thing, and that he's getting off of meds and all this other stuff. Like, when are we really gonna get to see like some real good shit, bro? Because
I think next season.
This has been what, more or less it was what, 3 seasons on Netflix. We can consider
Yeah.
this season 4 technically, and it's
Yeah.
still just a back and forth of a power struggle of a lackluster Kingpin, Daredevil that really don't know himself. Did he really want to fight crime? Did he really want to beat people up? Did he really want to be like? It's the same thing that is so long and drawn out. But we love this show and we love these characters. But what are they really doing with them? Nothing.
I think that next season is going to be a huge difference from this one. Not only because they're not doing anything, they're not going to have to rewrite everything. They have the idea now of where they want to go with this. I think next season is going to bring out the best in these characters. I already know I think Bullseye is going to be a bigger part in the next season because, and more so to his comic roots, because he's got, now granted, comic accurate or more comic accurate costume doesn't mean anything necessarily, but we're going to see Daredevil with the double D, and I can't say I'm not excited for that.
I mean, to you, the comic book accurate costumes might not be a thing, but again, I'm a purist in the aspect of I grew up on these comics. And to me, even grounded in the real world, I even thought in this series, all right, episode 9, they're showing Bullseye with Vanessa and all this other stuff. I was thinking that he was going to be like, boom, bro, like, who made Daredevil's costume? Like, we don't even know who made Daredevil's costume. We don't need to know who did it, but it's still like,
we kind of do, though.
Daredevil's costume is comic book accurate. So why is Bullseye still out here with nothing? To me, I almost feel like, and viewers, please don't kill me, but I kind of feel like Colin Farrell's Bullseye is way better than yes. I feel like Colin Farrell's, except for the little whatever was in his skin, as far as except for that, I feel like Colin Farrell's Bullseye was better than the Bullseye in Daredevil, bro.
I think they're trying to make him not seem like just a psychopath. They're trying to make him seem like a guy who really just kept getting pushed in the wrong direction.
I don't know. Now I'm looking forward to season 2 on Disney Plus. I'm definitely gonna watch it. We're gonna be able to review it, but I'm legit tired of the Hell's Kitchen with Matt Murdock and Kingpin going back and forth like they brothers and they're fighting over power. Like show me something real. Like, what is this building up to? At this point, it's just I'm watching it to be watching it. It's gonna be the same shit from the last time.
I think that while I understand the feeling of Kingpin, just like it's a back and forth, the last time they tried to focus on someone other than Kingpin was The Hand, and I feel like they did that terribly. The show has been at its strongest when it's him going, hey, I get it. But I also I don't know. I feel like I enjoy the fact that he's an intimidating enough villain. Like, I'm kind of worried for the city for the next season because, like, he's at his most powerful that he's ever been. And the fact that he killed somebody by crushing their skull with his bare hands means he's gotten somewhat stronger. I do feel like he's in the right level for me of strength, like brute strength that the Kingpin normally is referred with, that feels like it's still somewhat real and not like Hawkeye's version of him where he just took a bunch of arrows to the chest as if it was nothing and then got blown up and shot and like it was nothing.
Right. But see, I would prefer the Hawkeye version of Kingpin over what we're seeing and what we have been seeing. Because to me, that poses a bigger threat because Daredevil legit doesn't have any powers outside of his like cognitive, like outside of his eyes, right? But to legit be in a fight with Kingpin and Kingpin can legit like break you, like show me that. Like even with what was the guy's name that they killed in here with the mask and
Foggy? Oh.
No, not Foggy. Muse. Like even Muse, unless he legitimately comes back, because I knew he came back in the comics. Why even have Muse in this particular season if they're just gonna utilize him the way that they did? Like even right now with this last episode, Muse is an afterthought. But and I know this is an adaptation, but look at Muse in the comic book. Muse is a formidable opponent, and they legitimately like killed him off like he was nothing. Now, like I say, and like we talked about before, now if they bring him back and he's leveled up because he came back and they utilize him the way they need to utilize him, all right, cool. But to have, again, Kingpin and Daredevil fighting like they brothers, and we're going to pepper in Bullseye, but let's bring in Muse, and he killed people off camera, like, and then you just kill Muse off. Like, nah, they blew it, bro. But again, it's Marvel. It's Marvel. This is what Marvel
So
does.
I had this theory because I've kind of seen he was kind of like an Inhuman in the comics, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So my theory, because this is kind of how they've already adapted certain like characters, like like mutants or Inhumans or whatever. My theory is that his death activated something in him, like maybe a dormant gene or something that will bring him back to life,
Right.
and he'll be enhanced at that point, which would be cool.
Right.
I know he's already cast for the next season, so he's gonna be in it. Also, I think I remember Matthew Lillard's in the second season as I think a villain.
Really?
I don't know what he's gonna play, but I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it too. I love anything Matthew Lillard, bro.
You know what I think? What I think the show needs for you to feel more like, damn, Kingpin's like a threat. I think we need to see him go up against someone who has superpowers and still kick their ass.
Right. Exactly.
Because
and
like, imagine
not nothing against Daredevil, but
like imagine him going up against Luke Cage and he like completely wrecks Luke Cage, who has bulletproof skin. Like he hurts him. It's like he's
Right.
that strong.
Right.
Man, I can't believe Matt didn't get killed by this guy.
Right.
I do think we will see that. I do think he's going to get his super friends to come help, at least the ones that they can afford to put on the show. You know what would be interesting, though? I know he's not technically operating out of New York, but I'd almost find it interesting if we get, like, Moon Knight in it, Interesting character.
That would definitely be interesting. Right.
Well, we could see an R-rated Moon Knight.
If he is in there, right. If he is in there, I would like to see how they bring him in. But that would be fire. That would be fire because I love Moon Knight as a character. And again, underutilized. Like,
what if, because I think they're not going to do a Young Avengers series. I think that's not going to happen. What if this is how they bring in the Young Avengers? Because Kamala's already in New York. I don't know.
Right.
But think back. Kamala's there. Kate's there. She already has a dealing with Kingpin, She's definitely going to want to fight. Granted, she's a bow and arrow woman, but still, arrows can kill. And it'd be nice for them to have a ranged, like, besides Frank shooting people to death, he could pick somebody who's not going to aim to kill more so than incapacitate from a long distance.
Right.
Obviously. Okay, so there's that too, right? I do think both of them could show up in the next season to help because of the fact that Matt has that connection to Kamala's dad, and then Swordsman has a connection to Kate. At least get some of them. Also, I would say Doctor Strange, one, they're not going to get Benedict to be on a TV well, on this, they don't have time. And two, he's probably off in Dormammu's dimension or wherever they left off with him in the last one. He doesn't care. Maybe Wong.
Everybody
or he gets
Wong, though.
You know what would piss people off? If they brought She-Hulk in.
Oh my God, yeah. That would piss me off. That would piss me
off.
Well,
granted.
But it could work though. It could work though.
I mean,
it could work.
She could be the one that ends up now granted, if she beats Kingpin with a punch, people will get pissed. But if he somehow incapacitates her, I don't know. People still
might be pissed though. They're gonna be like, "What? He's that strong?" Because people that's not in the know, they only know the Kingpin of what we've been seeing. So they're like, he like smashed out She-Hulk. Like, how did he do that? Right?
No, they wouldn't care. They're like, yes, I wish I could have punched her. People are that mean. Sorry, but people are that mean about it. They are.
Right. No, for sure.
Just a fact. See, the problem is also who's overseas in London right now filming Avengers, because anyone that's over there filming that, they're not going to be able to film this because they're currently filming season 2 right now.
Right.
I don't know how they're going to get this released and also get the Punisher special released before this. Because I do think it'll come out before this.
It should.
I really do think it's just going to be him leaving the compound.
Right.
Or he gathers his own group of super mercenaries. Hey, Jigsaw.
I hope it's not in black and white.
Why not? I don't know. But yeah, I did enjoy the show. I did like how they ended it. It does get me excited to see this. And luckily, it is only a year away. As long as that is, it gives me something to look forward to next year.
Right. I agree. I'm looking forward to the second season. Like I say, I'm going to watch it. I just hope they offer more than what they did.
So the other thing I was going to say is I did read the comic run of Devil's Reign, which is what I think this is kind of in. It's where he is, mayor of New York and outlawing vigilantes with like anti-task force or whatever. Except the difference is that we get characters like Crossbones and Dr. Octopus and the Thunderbolts as a villainous team being branded official task force agents to bring in superheroes and arrest them.
Yeah, see, I'm here. I'm here for all of that.
I don't know.
I highly doubt they're gonna do that, but I'm here for it.
Well, I hope they adapt it to some extent, just not
Right.
obviously the whole thing, because we don't have the rights to everybody. Also, Crossbones is dead. Another
But,
wasted villain.
it's Marvel, so they might.
I don't know. All I know is it's the first time that a season has ended for a Marvel show for me, where I go, I liked how that ended. You know,
Yeah.
Most of them either end terribly. They're great, and then they just fall off. They miss the landing, or the whole show is just terrible all in and of itself. But as far as it goes, I approve of Daredevil Born Again. I still think it's a better overall season than season 2 of Daredevil.
Yeah. Like I say, I'm here for it. I would say I thoroughly enjoyed this season of Born Again, the first season or whatever. I'm looking forward to the second season. I want more from it. I feel like they're so afraid. Like they're more secure with using multiple F-bombs than they are really of like showing who these characters are. And if they really like break that mold and really show who those characters are and stop being scared, that will be what I want to see.
I'm going to give you some food for thought beforehand. Now, granted, this could be me just trying to support. People are going to be like, "Oh, you're glazing Marvel Studios." No, I'm not. I'm not doing that. But I'm thinking creatively, which is something that they should learn how to do more often. What if the reason this show didn't feel, other than the fact that it had a bunch of rewrites, if they intentionally made the story not feel like how you're feeling about it? Because Daredevil himself says at the end of the season, he's like, this whole time, I didn't know who I was. My sense of self was just not there. And therefore, now that he's got his sense of self back, season 2 is like a Netflix. Here's everything you wanted.
I'm here for it. And like I say, I'm going to still watch it. But,
well,
yeah.
Who knows? Maybe by the time that this next season comes out, I will have cracked the code in reactions and we can react to it for the channel.
Let's go. Let's do it. Y'all stay tuned.
I'm not making any promises. I'm still trying to figure that out. Someone really please, I know you don't want to spill your secrets, but I really would like to know how you're able to somehow get these full episodes of these shows available to you so you can actually edit them into highlights for a channel. Please, I'm begging you. I'd like to be able to get more viewers. But until next time, guys, it's been your boy Jay.
Chantel as always.
And we are the City Without Fear.